town and make some money just playing your guitar. If you're going to disappear.
Maybe he was depressed. Maybe, because he wasn't getting the reaction and the sales that he wanted to because, again, bad timing. Maybe he was feeling depressed and was like, yeah, fuck this. The aliens love me. I'll go with them. Or at least we thought were aliens, but it was cactuses out in the desert.
But you're not going to leave your 12. You're not going to leave your 12 string though. Come on.
You might if you're depressed. I don't know.
And he is definitely way more famous because of his disappearance than if he just lived out his life.
Oh.
I don't think anybody would. I mean, UFO would be a novelty. Maybe no one even care at all. The reason a lot of people know it now is because one, the story, and two, it got reissued a few years ago. And the guy that reissued it, he reached out to the family. He actually kind of reopened the investigation almost as he was doing it when he got the rights, and they still couldn't find anything. It's a weird story that you can be, you're focusing on UFOs and you talk about the song is like he sings the lyrics are like I'm going down the road heading to the desert, left my family behind,
Yeah, see.
Maybe
he's a clear map. Like,
maybe he's a time traveler. He might be a time traveler, and he's writing about, something that he did already in the past, and he's
it's just a warning, like,
about
hey,
it again. Yeah,
this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Prepare yourselves.
Now,
don't look for me.
This is going to be very stupid what I'm about to say. And Rob, you said you like this song. You said this song's a little rockin'. There's one thing about this song that and it's not Jim's fault. But when he says in the song, did he come? But when he says, did he come on a UFO? it sounds like, no. It sounds like he says Diddy Kong. He's like, Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong.
I just can't. Now, I know.
Diddy Kong on a UFO?
I know. Yes, that's what it sounds like to me. And I can't ever get that out of my head when I hear it. So it's ridiculous to think about. I know the Donkey Kong universe wasn't around in 1975. It's not Jim's fault. But if you're listening to this post N64, yeah, maybe there you go.
I was
more
thinking of
time travel.
N64, Diddy Kong Racing, and him in his stupid little airplane, but it's a little, flying saucer instead.
Yeah.
Diddy Kong was a great game, by the way, just as a side note.
It was.
Love that game.
It really was.
Well, sorry, Jim, and like I said, I can't get on board because of the Diddy Kong reference in it. It just takes me out of it. Takes me out of the time. So this is just a mystery. Interesting story, interesting guy, but he's gone.
We don't find out. Like, literally, it's a completely cold case. You said they reopened the investigation and then they dropped it.
They kind of did. They kind of did, but nothing. Nothing's ever come of it. He like I said, the aliens. The aliens liked his tune so much that they took him up.
Covered up all the tracks.
Yeah, and he's got like a silver guitar now and everything.
Oh, maybe he's on Planet of the Apes because he's singing about Diddy Kong.
Very possible.
Hey, did they ever recover that guitar of his? Or does somebody have that now?
I'm sure they gave it back to his family. I'm sure his wife has all his stuff. I think his wallet was in there and everything.
Still in the evidence. Wow. Still in the evidence lockup, probably.
Yeah, we should ask about that.
Yeah, if one of us becomes like an eccentric millionaire, we'll try to go buy his guitar and or
steal it. I mean, no, I don't condone steal it.
I bet you Zach Baggins probably already owns it.
It's haunted with an alien ghost or something. All right. Well, I want to go on to another rock and roller, and this one's a pretty big one. So let's have Rob. Rob, play us a song and introduce our next rocker.
Oh, good evening. I'm Stan Blather, and this is the evening news. Let's go immediately now to our field reporter, Ronaldo Riviera, with a fast-breaking story on the banks of the Stinky Muddy River. Take it away, Ronaldo.
Thank you, Stang. This is Ronaldo Riviera on the banks of the Stinky Muddy River with Mr. R.V. Frisbee, who claims to have witnessed something truly fantastic. Mr. Frisbee, could you tell us what you saw? You bet I can, Ronaldo. I was just hunkered down over there putting a stink wad on my trot line, and the short hairs just stood straight out on the back of my neck, and I turned around, and there it was. Big orange thing, them purple lights on it, comes swooping over them pine trees there and just hoovered over the Winnebago. Inez run out, throwed a skillet at it, and then she scissored and run back in up on the hide bed. About that time, little trap door opened up, little stair steps come down, little pink bald-headed guy stuck his head out. Now, I'd seen that movie, Close to Encounters. I just walked on over there big as I and looked up in there, and there he was.
There who was?
Well, you know.
What? No, who? I saw Elvis in a UFO, sitting there with Howard Hughes. Saw Elvis in a UFO, Jimmy Howard was in there too.
Yeah, get it.
Saw Elvis in a UFO.
All right. Well, as you can
So
tell by
confusing.
that famous song that we all know and listen to constantly, we're going to talk about Elvis and UFOs. Guys, do you know who that was?
Who was
song
that?
You guys have any idea who that was?
Any idea?
Silence. No, you'll never know.
I have no idea.
It's Ray Stevens. Okay, Ray Stevens. You guys know who Ray Stevens is.
Oh,
Is he-
Oh, yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah. Is
The
he
Streak.
Cat, is he Cat Stevens' brother?
No, he actually kind of looks like
His blind brother.
like he could be Brian Frangi's dad. It's like he looks a lot
You know,
right.
I was gonna say.
So you're
as a
saying he
Bri-
looks
as a
really cool.
Brian. I was gonna say as a Brian Frangi. That's what I was.
This is
Yeah.
he's Ray Stevens is like a comedy musician. It's hard to describe. His songs are really goofy, and he had his time in the 70s. He had his biggest hit song was The Streak. That song, oh yeah, they call him The Streak. Woo! It's
Oh
really
yeah. I've heard that song.
that's Ray Stevens. It's me
Yeah, I
again.
thought I heard somebody
Margaret.
mention that.
What is?
That's
They
not
call him the
that's not a good name for
Streak?
somebody. Yeah,
He has
that's
a
not a
song-
good
remember-
nickname.
No, they don't. He has a song about a streaker, and when streaking
Oh.
was huge.
Yeah,
like in
you
the-
know,
Oh,
we're going to the quads in the gymnasium.
because the Streak
Hey.
is not a nickname that you want. You know, that
No,
sounds
it's
like
not
something
just
you
a-
get called
no.
when you're like a kid in the locker room at school, and they see
Yeah,
your
I think
underwear,
like
and then they call you the Streak
Good
for the
job
rest of
with
your
your
life.
Not that kind of streak.
Did
Like
that
when
happen
you're
to you,
naked. We're not here to talk about
comment.
Ray Stevens. Stop bringing him up. We're
Or
talking.
streaks.
We're here, man. Not only the king of rock and roll, but evidently the king of alien encounters too. Well, maybe not the king, but Elvis himself has had a lot of alien encounters, and I want to tell you guys about some. The Suspicious Mind singer is said to have made several sightings of UFOs during his life, with his interest sparked by an unusual sighting made by his father, Vernon, on the day he was born, January 8th, 1935. The singer's hairstylist and friend, Larry Geller, explained, his father told us he'd gone out to have a cigarette at 2 a.m. during the delivery, and when he looked up into the skies above their little shack, he saw the strangest blue light. He knew right then and there that something special was happening. Author Michael C. Luckman, who wrote a book, Alien Rock, The Rock and Roll Extraterrestrial Connection, about musicians who have had contact with otherworldly beings, that's a cool topic, believes Elvis was later visited by aliens when he was a child. He claims the singer was contacted telepathically by two alien beings when he was 8 years old, who gave him a glimpse into his famous future, although he had no idea what all of it meant at the time. Larry, who eventually became Elvis's spiritual mentor, confirmed he had extraterrestrial experiences when he was with the singer, who was dubbed the King of Rock and Roll. Well, no shit. Recounting a time that they had been driving through the desert and saw unusual lights, he told AOL News, they were moving far too quickly to be airplanes, so we just chalked it up to UFOs. Another time, we were walking through his Graceland home and noticed odd lights in a field moving back and forth. Elvis was a deeply spiritual person and was very interested in the metaphysical. He had an eclectic outlook on things. Although he never had any major alien experiences, he certainly was a believer. He had his feet on the ground, but his head in the heavens. Wow. So Elvis has had a lot of alien experiences going back to his birth, where his father saw a weird light above their shack while his wife is giving birth to Elvis.
Weird. That's very weird. So, I mean, that has a lot of implications. There were UFOs above his mother while he was giving birth, similarly to how, like, David Huggins had to go and touch all of his babies. And, there was aliens present with their offspring. So is he maybe an alien offspring? And that's why he was so good at everything?
I mean, he's had an extraordinary life, and they seem to be following him. I mean, he says when he's 8 years old that they gave him a glimpse into his famous future, although he had no idea what all of it meant. Now, I've read other things that said he saw like a man on a stage. He saw a man on a stage with like a weird suit singing and just people going crazy. And this is something he had a vision of this when he was 8 years old, and he attributes it to aliens.
Oh man, these were just record deal people. They were just the agents trying to get him to sign. Like, look, this is going to be you, and they just fed him these ideas and images.
Do you think the aliens taught him how to do that weird leg shake, or was it really Forrest Gump?
Hey man, that was all natural. I don't know. It was new for the time, but I think everybody secretly wanted to already shake their leg, and that he just was emboldened by the visions that he had as a child.
Now, so Elvis is really interested in aliens, but could he actually be an alien, like you said, Drea? No,
Yes.
One guy also thinks so, and he breaks down a video of Elvis from 1977 where he appears to shapeshift or shit or just something. Let's hear this guy.
This was Rapid City, South Dakota. Here you see Elvis being presented with a plaque and the medallion of life from a little girl. Her name is easy to find online, but I didn't want to put it out here on this video. It's a little bit weird to have your name associated with this, and she is still alive. And let me just say right up front, I do not believe she is a shapeshifter. Now, let's get into the weirdness. Elvis is about to accept the medallion of life from the little girl. He's going to lean in, give her a kiss. Everything seems pretty normal up until this point. You'll see some pictures here in a moment, but then about here, things get a little strange. So now we're going to go through a series of pictures where you see the little girl have a range of emotions, and then right about here, she sees something wrong as he pulls away. What does she see? Well, we're all about to see it for ourselves as he stands up and looks at the camera right here. What's weird is somehow the guy holding the microphone misses this part, but here very soon he's going to notice something that is amiss. I think that'll be right about here. And he looks a little disturbed. After seeing this, he quickly walks away, and then acts like nothing ever happened. Look at his face. Yikes. You also see a couple of Elvis's men seeing everything as it happens. One of them steps in front of the camera. The other man goes directly for the eye that was just melting. Here we go again, in real time. See Elvis's guy step in front of the camera right here. Then the other guy goes right for the eye. He saw exactly what happened. That's the only way to explain him going right onto the eye.
So
Okay.
in this video, Elvis is receiving what they call the medallion of life from this young girl, and it's before a concert, and he's got a full 70s Elvis jumpsuit on, and he looks kind of bloated in the face. Elvis is not looking good. This is only a couple months before he died, and
It's 6 weeks before he died.
yeah, and his face starts to look really messed up in the video, and it's like his eye is like exploding or melting. It looks really messed up. Now, you guys all watched the video, right?
Yeah, I did. I watched the video, and you know who else's eyes looked weird and messed up and melting? The little girls and everybody else in that same footage.
Yeah.
It was just a deteriorated version of the film.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. It's sort of tough.
It is,
Everyone was
but
melting.
it's so weird. Yeah, but when Elvis is melting, they all jump in front of the camera to stop it.
He sweated. He was sweating, and they were dapping away the sweat
Russ.
out of his eye because he's the king of rock and roll, and he
Russ.
doesn't want to do
What?
that.
I'm gonna be the Philip J. Class here, and break it down for you. Like it was 6 weeks before he died, and I don't want to be like the bad guy, the debunker, but
Nah,
he had all these like medical problems before this thing, and like one of the things like he apparently he died on the toilet bowl of a heart attack, but he was unhealthy. It was like I said, 6 weeks before he died.
Wasn't he on a bunch of drugs too?
He was on a bunch of drugs.
You are a goddamn liar.
Yes, that's what I was. That's exactly what I was. I was actually going to mimic that voice. Mike Rogers, you are a goddamn liar. No, but he could have had Graves' disease. He could have had hypothyroidism, and like that. All that kind of stuff makes your eye protrude like that. And it is like what Drea said. Like it's really weird because you look at the little girl and even the guy jumping in front of the camera for a second, his eye looks weird. Until you see the color version of it, then it's like, well, what's going on? But even the color version,
no,
he has distortion in his face, which is weird.
So
yeah,
is it like his whole crew knows that